Our next inductee, Gary Hicks, class of 1970. Gary picked up tennis his freshman year. By the time his junior year rolled around, he became an outstanding player. As a junior, his record was 12-4, and his senior year, it was 19-1. During his senior year, Gary was known as one of the best servers in the league. His powerful serve was very difficult for many opponents to return. He was selected the MVP for his team. Gary was the only high school student to make the Tuolumne County Tennis Club traveling team when they played in big tournaments in the Valley. His hard work and dedication to the sport led him to receive the Jack Whipple Co. Most Inspirational Male Athlete Award for his class. Gary also coached tennis in the early 70s for Auburn High School. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gary Hicks.
Good?
Yep.
All right, thanks. Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks. That's that right here.
Like them.
Yeah. What an honor it is to be here tonight. I did not believe it when I was told that I was going to be nominated for the Hall of Fame. The only hall I thought I would be in would be Study Hall. I would like to thank the following Hall of Fame members for voting me in, the Hall of Fame committee as a whole. I'd like to thank my parents for their support, for all the rackets and balls they purchased for me over the years. I'd like to thank my brother for all the sports and games we played in the neighborhood when we were kids. He pushed me to be a better athlete. And Larry, I finally found a sport that I could beat you at. I'd like to thank my high school coaches, Bob Gibson, Frank Scott, and Ron Lewis. They gave me the chance to work hard and excel in PE, and I did, and I ended up being in really good condition and great shape, thanks to them. I'd like to thank John Richardson, Bocce Forseri, for allowing me to work out at the gym. They made it possible for me to do that, and I appreciate it. I'd like to thank the hundreds and hundreds of people that I played tennis with and against in my 30-plus years of playing tennis. They made me a better player. I would like to also thank my high school tennis coach, Jack Castanetto. Jack was also a lifelong friend, and he made me a better player. He helped me so much with my game. It's sad that he's gone because I would have asked him to give my speech tonight. I'd also like to thank Bill Davis, who is a tennis pro in Merced. I played a lot of tennis with Bill over the years, and he also helped me perfect my game. I think it's interesting how I came about to play tennis. What happened was I played Little League Baseball for most of my life, and I tried out for Pony League in the summer of 1966. On the second day of tryouts, I was heading to practice to try out again. And as I crossed the yard, Ron Wano met me, who was the chief of police at Sonora at the time. He met me on the field, and he said, "Gary, I have bad news for you." And I said, what happened? He said, "The board voted last night that you cannot play because they were afraid you were going to get hurt." So I was devastated, to say the least. Walked home, pretty dejected. And I thought to myself, well, now what am I going to do? I played sports all my life. It can't be over. So I didn't really know what to do. And I just happened to be down at the high school courts shooting baskets. And at those days, the old courts, they also doubled as basketball courts, the old cement courts. And I was shooting baskets, and these guys were the next court over, and they were playing tennis. And so I stopped and watched them for a while, and I thought, I'd like to try that. It looked like something I could do, and let's just see where it goes. And so I asked my parents to buy me a racket, and the rest is history. My freshman and sophomore years, I did not play on the team, but I played constantly, hours and hours and hours every day that I could. I hardly missed a day, and I hit balls against the backboard. I played with whoever would come along and play with me, but I also realized I had a problem. I did not have a good enough ball toss to where I thought I could play competitively. So I practiced my ball toss for 2 years, and I finally got a ball toss that I could rely on. And at the same time, I was also practicing my serve. And so that's how I developed a really strong serve, and it would later become a big weapon for me when I played matches. In the spring of my sophomore year, I introduced myself to Mr. Castanetto. Now I knew him as Jack, but at those days, when I introduced myself, I knew him as Mr. Castanetto, and I called him Mr. Castanetto. And I said, Mr. Castanetto, would you hit with me? I'd like to maybe play tennis on the team. Would you hit with me after school one day and see if I was good enough to play on the team? And he said, that's great. We set a date. We played tennis for probably 20 minutes or so, and he said, you're ready to play. You can make the team. You're going to be just fine. And so he said, why don't you play this year? And I said, I need to practice some more. I need to have a better ball toss. I need to have a better game. And so I went out my junior year, and I started with doubles, and within a few matches I moved to singles. As Rick said, my record was 12-4, and after that season, I thought I was playing pretty decent tennis. So I entered a tournament over on Highway 4 in Bear Valley, or not Bear Valley, but Blue Lake Springs. And my first round opponent was a boy a little bit older than me, a lefty out of the Bay Area. And he dominated me from start to finish. And I remember driving home back to Sonora, and I'm thinking, the trip over took longer than the match. And I just, I wasn't upset because he just was a better player than me, and I realized then that I really wasn't that good. So anyway, I got home and I called Jack and told him what had happened. He said, there's better players out there, you need to understand that. And the next day I was back on the courts hitting balls. I hit balls all the time. Thousands of balls, maybe even close to millions. I don't know. I played lots of tennis. My senior year, our team was really good. There's no question. Our singles, all three of our singles were really strong. We dominated most of our matches because of our singles play. Our doubles were good, but our singles were just really strong. We had swept Oakdale for the first time that year in 22 years. It was quite an accomplishment. People were really excited about it. I didn't know what the big deal was, but I soon found out. We finally lost 2 matches that year, close matches, really close matches. And my record was 19-1. And the match I lost, I'd beaten the young man earlier in the season. And that was a close match, and this one was no different. But in all honesty, I had people telling me all the time, Gary, you have a chance to go undefeated. You have a chance to go undefeated. And I think I just got overwhelmed with everybody saying, gee, Gary, you have a chance to go undefeated. And I think I just got so exhausted of hearing that. I just put too much pressure on myself. And I think that was really one of the reasons why I lost the match. But make no mistake, it was a close match, and it went in his favor that time. I do have one little story from my senior year. I played a gentleman early in the year, and he had lost the first set, and he didn't really think, I really got the feeling he didn't think that I should beat him, and he thought he was going to beat me pretty easily. And I won the first set pretty easily, and I remember him netting the ball, and he threw his racket, and it clipped the net and came over on my side. So I went over, picked it up, and I said, here, you're going to need this for the second set. And so he got his racket back, and anyway, I beat him straight sets, and he was not pleased because he didn't think he should lose to me. So, as you probably can tell, tennis was a passion for me, a lifetime passion for me. I played for 30 years plus. I played a lot of tennis. I had wonderful experiences. Hundreds of people I played with. I enjoyed it, and it was the best experiences for me. Tennis was more than tennis for me. Tennis provided a way, an avenue for me to be successful, to be confident, to have a work ethic. It gave me the ability to work with people. Tennis really shaped my life, and I have to tell you, to this day, I miss it. I miss it terribly. It was something that I just loved, and I'm really passionate about it. And it's just a great lifetime sport for anybody that's learning how to play. Thank you very much. So anyway,
And when you think about it now, do you think that it made you more agile? I mean, kept you really physical? Because that's such a huge everything.
Yeah. Well, back when I was in high school and I was younger, I was in phenomenal condition. I could play tennis all day, and I did.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you remember me when you first came to, and Larry
Well, I was
married.
struck with you because you rode a bicycle,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
And in fact, I think you went to it.
Back in those days when I lived in Merced, I played golf in the morning, played 18 holes and walked. Then I went back to the tennis club and played 2 or 3 sets in the afternoon. I did that all the time.
Wow.
So I was in such great condition.
Such good,
Yeah, it really was. Now not so much.
Yeah.
And my orthopedist doctor that I played tennis, or used to play tennis with, he tells me, he said, I just think you wore your body out because you did things that you probably shouldn't have been able to do.
But you had that will and that drive and that I'm going to do it.
He says, like your arm, he says, you're at the time, I was like 60, and he said, your arm is, your body's, you're 60, but your arm's really like 75. Very nice. I'll probably be drinking it tonight.
I see I can give an injection.
Yeah. No, anyway, but it's just, it was a neat thing for me.
Yeah.
Tennis was more than tennis for me. It really was.
How did you pick that sport?
Well, you want to hear it now, or you want to hear it when I talk about it?
Oh, no. Okay, keep me waiting.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Because, I thought to myself later, when I met you and that, and
I
thought, how did you decide to get
I
on a
can just
bike?
tell you.
Yeah.
He played Pony League baseball in the summer of '66. He went out for Pony League baseball. I went out for Pony League baseball. And on my way to practice, the second day of tryouts, I was headed to practice, and one of the coaches, Ron Wano, who was also the chief of police for Sonora, met me before I got to the diamond.
Yeah.
And he said, Gary, I got some news for you. And I said, what's that? And he said, the board met last night, and they decided you're not going to play. And he said, because we're afraid you're going to get hurt. So he said, you're not going to be allowed to play. Anyway, so I kind of didn't know what I was going to do because I'd always played sports. So I was down at the high school. The courts were also basketball courts because they were multi-purpose. So there were people playing tennis, and I was shooting baskets, and I was watching them, and I'm going, oh, that seems pretty fun. I'd like to try that. Let's see what I can do. And so my mom and dad bought me an $8.95 racket. That was my first racket, and I started. I never stopped.
And did you start by playing off a wall or something like that?
Backboard.
Because you could just
In the summer, my freshman and sophomore years, I literally lived at the courts, and I would hit off the backboard. Somebody would come down, and I'd play them. They'd get tired, and I'd go back and sit down, and they'd leave, and somebody else would come.
And you'd play there?
All day, every day. That's how I got better.
Wow. Were you mad?
Huh?
Were you mad? I mean, did you have that fire of, you think I can't do, you think I'm going to get hurt? Or you just loved it when you started to play?
I was kind of embarrassed that I didn't get to play. But you know what? I knew I wasn't a good player. I mean, maybe an inning or two. I wasn't like Larry. I wasn't a good athlete.
But you were heading towards the mound, you said? So you were a pitcher?
No. I was just walking across the softball. I was walking across the softball field and to the varsity field, and he came down. When he saw me, he came down and met me. So I didn't go up there. So which was good, because there would have been other people up there. And so anyway, that's kind of how it started. I did get to play baseball. I introduced myself to the tennis coach the spring of my sophomore year, and I said, and I'm thinking, well, I wouldn't even have did this now, but I said, I'm Gary Hicks. I said, I play tennis. I said, would you play with me to see if I'm good enough to play on the team? So we agreed, and we met after school, and I hit balls with him for a while, and he said, you're definitely ready. You definitely could play. And he said, why don't you go out this year? And I didn't go. I didn't do it. I said, no, I need to practice some more. And so I said, I'll go out my junior year. And he said, okay. So that was kind of the start of a really long-term relationship with him. He and I were lifelong friends. He just passed away last year. And I'm going to look right at him. I'm going to say, Larry, I said, I finally found a sport that I was better than you at. Because he was better than me in everything else. So.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he's a good athlete,
You think?
And I had to work so much harder than he did for stuff.
Question.
Yeah.
And so these people you went to school with?
This guy I went to high school with. He's a little younger than me.
Okay.
And he actually worked with him at Pine Mountain Lake when Pine Mountain Lake was first being developed up in Groveland. It was nothing when I first went to work up there.
So were you with the tennis or the golf?
No, I was employed by Pine Mountain Lake.
Oh my gosh.
By Boise Cascade, that's who owned it. And there was maybe a dozen houses on that development.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it was incredible. Right, yeah. So let's see, this is my brother. Yeah. The one I'm going to talk about.
Janet, everybody.
Pardon?
You have to show Larry and Diane that picture of Mom and Bennett. Oh,
You have the phone.
did you put it in that black bag?
I think so. I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Put it in the black bag.
It's probably in the room.
My
God.
all
You
the
just
time now.
realized it.
So I always told you you're old.
His mom wanted to see the baby, and so yesterday she was at the house and she was holding Bennett, and Gary took a picture of her. It is the cutest.
Yeah, it is.
picture.
It is. If it's on my phone, wherever my phone is.
Send it to me.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
If you would.
You can send it to me.
So
And it's
I
his
see.
mom and my great grandson.
I see you're texting now. Because in the beginning, I don't text. I don't text. I don't text. I don't text.
I only do that on
I only
vacations.
text. I only text.
I do
Then she texts me a couple times.
But I can't text.
Yes.
I can't text.
See, now this
Why?
is what I'm talking about.
I have a flip phone
stop.
and I can't.
Oh, stop. Stop.
And I don't want to.
You
Don't
can't
even,
text
don't,
in case you
don't,
forever to say
don't
bye.
even go there. Have them all. She can have 3 or 4, but she won't.
I
Don't get me started.
I like that better
It's a battle.
than the phones. I just don't like those.
No, he's trying to get
It
me.
isn't a battle.
It's a battle. See?
You just get what you want.
Yeah, there's like 4 icons.
I want one.
Yeah, just think you could carry all
Anyway.
those baby pictures with you everywhere
gosh.
you go and show people.
The camera. Oh
The camera
no.
itself would do
I
it.
found a way in camera with the baby pictures.
And you could take videos of the baby. They're only 4 months
Oh
once.
my goodness.
I never thought of that.
Okay, good Christmas gift.
Thanks. He's out of Los Angeles.
And he came for you up
Yes.
here? Why?
Well, I'm lucky because he has a really good friend here in Sonora, so we decided to make business with pleasure. And he's doing me, then he's got a friend here.
Oh, too bad you didn't give us all tennis rackets so that we could show what you could do.
I about died.
What's that?
That's a lot of golf games.
The videographer that first contacted me about doing this, his estimate was $3,900 to do this tonight.
That's a lot of golf.
And I said, no, I'm sorry, we won't be using you. So anyway, but
So he's 37.
yeah, 37. Close. Anyway.
$36.95.
Well, I'm just so pleased that both of you were here. Two of my favorite people.
We said yes.
I know, but two of my favorite people.
He has to say that.
I know.
Well,
I'm milking it.
I'm mic'd. I've got to be nice.
I only wish you lived closer so you could teach me how to play the piano.
Yeah, I wish you'd be closer so I could play the piano.
Hey, we can train anybody. That's what they keep telling me, that they can train me.
Well, we're looking at houses up here. We're thinking about moving.
No, I
To
don't
get
believe
out of
that.
the city.
I don't believe that. Really? I don't
Well,
believe
you know,
that.
it met our criteria this time. They have a really good grocery store that has all kinds organic.
I haven't. I didn't even look at that yet.
I have to see that.
Channel
What channel's that?
17 on mine.
So you hooked up to that camera?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. I wanted to video this so my daughter could see it.
Really?
Yeah. I did. I hired him.
Videoing this right here?
Yeah.
And that in there?
And then my speech
That's
in
right.
there.
You said you hired a video guy.
Yeah. But I just have people that can't come that would love to see it. So
Okay.
I mean, plus though, I'll have it forever. My daughter
I thought she said photographer. I
No,
thought they were
videographer.
taking pictures.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
She
Anyway,
said the photographer.
No.
Oh, okay.
what you
So
drinking there?
Who's that guy?
Okay, this lady here is Laura, and that's her husband Tom. Okay, they're from near San Diego. And then the lady over there, that's Diane, Larry's wife.
Right.
And then Larry's over here, and the guy in the
Saw
green,
Larry.
the guy in the green is Alan McDonald from Groveland. He was a
He's
golf
the
pro.
golf pro?
Well, he was, and then I saw him. I caddied for him at a assisted pro tournament at Napa at Silverado, and right in front of Johnny Miller. Johnny Miller's on the deck. He went from sand trap to sand trap and took him out of the tournament.
He did?
Yeah. He ended up with a 73, but he went from sand trap to sand trap. He was in the running to move on the next day, but Johnny was standing on the deck looking at him.
Well, you got two tables in there.
I know.
20 people.
I got a lot of people. You know what?
This is costing you a fortune.
I had a lot of people. I had to hire a lot of people. These are all fill-ins. No, I have no friends.
When do the actors get here?
They're like Academy. This is like the Academy Awards. People just come in and sit and. Yeah, I know him. Yeah, nice guy.
Next they're gonna roll
They
out
got
the
a
red carpet here for you to walk in on.
They all got a script. They know all what to say. So anyway,
So would you escort my husband up
thanks.
to the podium?
Thanks for coming.
Oh, it'll be fun.
Thanks for coming.
They're gonna roll the red carpet out here
He
pretty
said that
quick.
they put his team
Yeah.
away.
Seriously, thanks for coming. I
Did you
appreciate
see
it.
where the podium was? Did you see where the podium
I
was?
know, I'm gonna have to go back to my truck, get my binoculars.
Oh! Yeah, we're just kind of chatting with him. Just chatting with him.
He's mic'd up.
Huh.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Smile, you're on Candy Candy. So how long have you?
Videographers finding it hard to get people to be around you.
I know,
Yeah.
we all keep walking away,
And
yes.
I even showered. Too. Well, how long you guys been here?
Well, we got here at 5 o'clock and I turned her loose with $100.
Did she go in the non-smoking? Did you find that? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Where's me? I haven't even looked at this thing yet.
You're number 3.
Yeah, that came out in the middle of the season. Yeah, the caption says tomorrow a crown. Gary Hicks undefeated this year.
haven't even looked
it's
at
been one of the successes to the Sonora High team.
Can't even.
Really big left arm one back then from hitting serves. Seriously.
Look how much hair
Is
he's
there a
got.
racket in there?
Yeah,
man?
yeah, there is.
The racket must be down
Off this way, I think, and down.
because your hand's
Yeah.
pointed down.
I was probably hitting this kick serve or something because my arm in that position.
Oh,
That looks
there's the
like a kick.
racket right there.
That looks like
Oh, okay.
that position looks like a
I
kick
can't
serve.
see the
Don't
racket.
you wear glasses?
I do. That's why, and I don't have mine.
Anyway, yeah,
Looking for the racket.
I remember that
I
picture.
thought maybe he threw it at his opponent. or
I gotta,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how he got it over the net.
yeah, yeah. One of the things that happened my senior year, I played this guy from, let's see, where was it? Los Banos, and he lost. I lost. He won. He lost the first set I won, and he threw his racket. He netted a ball and he threw his racket and it clipped the tape and came over on my side. And I walked over.
racket
Yeah,
did?
and I walked over and picked it up and I said, "Here, you're going to need this for the next set," and gave it back to him.
You won the first.
Yeah.
You won the second.
No. I won the first. I just won the first. He
Oh.
throws the racket because he's pissed. I reach over and pick it up. I
No.
give it back to him. I said, "You're going to need this for the next set," and walked away.
And who won the match?
I did. Straight sets. I only lost one match the whole year, and it wasn't against that guy. He was a wannabe.
He was a wannabe.
Yeah. Anyway, no. Good to remember. Good memories.
So who was in your league? Manteca, East Union, Oakdale.
Oakdale. There was a school in Modesto. Let's see, it was Fire, I think. Was it Fire?
Fire.
Yeah. We played for preseason. We played Lincoln, St. Mary's, Franklin. We played really big schools. So we were good. I mean, we only were going to get better by playing better competition, and we actually went through preseason undefeated. So it was one of those times, where you don't realize it, but I actually at one time I was in really good condition. I could play. Not now though. Those days are gone.
So you were able to throw the ball up with your right hand, obviously.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to go into it because that's part of in my speech.
Oh.
Because sometimes the journey is better than the destination. Working hard and getting where you're going.
Right.
That was a fuck. 2 years of just throwing tennis balls up in the air. Seriously, that's why I didn't play my freshman and sophomore year. I didn't have a ball toss.
What?
I didn't have a ball toss. I didn't play my freshman and sophomore year. I only played my junior and senior year.
I
And
thought
finally,
it said in here you played as a freshman. No? You only played 2 years of
2
tennis
years.
in high school?
31-5, 12-4, and 19-1.
So you worked on your ball toss your
2
freshman.
years. That's why my serve got to be so good, because if you're doing a ball toss, you might as well do the serve at the same time. So I had a really big serve, probably the hardest in the league. Yeah,
Well, you tossed it with your right hand.
yeah, but I hit it with, and you saw, I don't know if you saw in the picture, I had a really big left arm.
I can't see it. That's why I'm taking it home. I can't.
Yeah.
I didn't bring my
Yeah,
glasses.
no, I had it. Yeah, I had weaknesses for sure, but nobody could touch my serve. When it was on, nobody could touch it.
So did you spin it or?
I could do it all. I could hit flat. I could spin it. I could kick it. I could do it all. I'm just telling you.
But were you on the tennis team in freshman, sophomore year?
No, I just played tennis every day. Not during tennis season, but weekends and all the other times I was down there. But yeah, it just.
So he was a baseball player.
Yeah. He's in my speech too. He's gonna love it. He doesn't know it
Is he
yet.
going to talk about the shoe through the window?
I could. He doesn't know it, but the last thing I say about him is I was gonna say, Larry, I finally found a sport where I could beat you. That I found a sport that I was better than you at, because he was better than me in everything else. He was a good baseball player.
What are you doing here? Mallory's invited us to honor you. This is my wife, Cindy. Do you remember her from credentialing?
Credentialing.
Yeah or no?
38
You
years
do.
ago. Or I forget.
I can't remember yesterday. You came from.
Yes.
I tell you a quick
Yeah,
little
if I'd have
story.
known
Years
how
and
to
years
get
and years
grandson.
ago, I had a girlfriend.
Yeah, that's right.
And my stepsister was legally blind.
In fact,
She was
we
just
got
working
assigned to your
TV,
team.
and we were in Oakdale. And she lived in Hayward.
What
And my girlfriend said to her, "Will you be driving home
What's that?
tonight?" She goes, "No, I don't."
Why not?
Let me tell you something. As opposed to the old days where you did this, I have learned to do that.
Okay.
To do the windshield wiper.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I've modernized.
Give me a time. Remember Richardson's Fitness Center? Yes, sir. Yeah. See,
Is this in Gary?
you deserved it.
No, it was Greenhorn.
Oh, it was Greenhorn when she asked him that?
And she,
If
Regina
if he's
says-
always
or
been
Regina
left-handed.
says, are you right-handed?
Jackson,
Jackson,
California,
California.
yeah, an hour away.
Yeah.
Us kids, I wish that we worked on a farm just so they could have farms to work.
Yes.
You're like, get out of my way. Yeah, she was better. Rick can sit there. Rick can sit there. I'm moving right around the corner from your dad.
Gary here. Are we at the wrong table?
My brother.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, where is she? Okay, we're good. I knew that.
Still plugged in?
Of course. They would be happy to do it. They would have to change up that countertop for $1,000. That's more than I will feel like paying. So we got a prefab countertop that it's cultured, whatever. Cultured stone at Home Depot for a couple of
And the only reason I know, you know, like you and Johnny, because of
You're the star of the whole place, right?
Okay, that's enough.
Hicks, I'm the brother they don't talk about.
Ceremony.
He's the real player. He's way better than me.
Welcome all of you. This is our